afternoon. You're watching World is One News. I'm Taru, Sugandha. Here are the top stories I'm tracking for you at this hour. The war of words continues between US and Mexico. Trump administration on considering to impose a 20% tax on imports from Mexico. In his first television interview, US President Donald Trump says there will be restrictions, but he is not banning Muslim immigration to United States. Austrian police arrest 14 suspected Islamic State militants following raids in Vienna and the southern city of Graz. Indian soldiers killed as avalanches hit their camps in Gurez sector of Jammu and Kashmir. China may be close to testing a new 400 kilometers air-to-air missile. The state-run China Daily reported that a Chinese army website had displayed a photograph of a J-11 fighter carrying a large missile. The paper said the missile would be able to target aerial refuelers. Russia is known to be the only country so far which has developed a 400 kilometers air-to-air missile. The state-run China Daily reported that a Chinese army website had displayed a photograph of an AJ-11 fighter carrying a large missile. The paper said the missile would be able to target aerial refuelers. Russia is known to be the only country so far which has developed a 400 kilometers air-to-air missile. For all the viewers who are just joining us now, China may be close to testing a new 400-kilometer air-to-air missile. The state-run China Daily reported that a Chinese army website had displayed a photograph of an AJ-11 fighter carrying a large missile. The paper said the missile would be able to target aerial refuelers. Russia is known to be the only country so far which has developed a 400-kilometer air-to-air missile. To talk more on this, we are joined by Atul Taneja of the Hindu newspaper from Beijing. Atul, sorry, we lost him there. The National Investigation Agency, or the NIA, will probe the derailments of the Indore-Patna Express in the North Indian city of Kanpur last year and the Hirakund Express in Andhra Pradesh last week. According to NIA officials, the Union Home Ministry has issued a formal order of investigation. Besides these two cases, the NIA has also been asked to probe the recovery of an improvised explosive device on railway track near Gorashan district in Bihar. Moreover, the NIA will investigate the sabotage angle in both the cases, following the arrests of 3 persons by Bihar police.
In Malda division between Bariarpur and Ratanpur station, the pandrol clips were missing and the track fittings were tampered. Because of that, we had to we have to stop the traffic and for some hours, and the FIR with the government railway police has been lodged in this case. In another incident in Dhanbad division, the fish plates were found opened between Kodarma and Maheshpur station.
Moving on, in northeast India, Meghalaya Governor V. Shanmugathan has resigned amid charges that he had converted the Raj Bhavan to a young ladies' club. Employees of the Raj Bhavan had written a letter to the Prime Minister alleging that the governor had compromised the dignity of his office and should be removed. Reports in a section of the press had earlier said that a job aspirant had levelled allegations of molestation against Shanmugam. In Western India, a Jodhpur court will record the statements of Bollywood actors Salman Khan, Saif Ali Khan, Taru, Sonali Bendre and Neelam in the 1998 blackbuck poaching case today. Earlier on Thursday, the court had deferred its hearing for a day following the actor's absence from the court. Last week, Salman Khan was acquitted by the Jodhpur High Court in the Arms Act linked to the blackbuck killing case. The actors cited inadequate security arrangements due to the Republic Day celebrations in Jodhpur as reason for their absence from court. The big political news from Maharashtra, the Shiv Sena has decided to go it alone in the upcoming local body elections in Mumbai. The party chief Uddhav Thackeray announced that the party will not ally with the Bharatiya Janata Party in the elections scheduled for 21st February. While addressing partymen in suburban Goregaon, Thackeray said, and I quote, "We have wasted 25 years in this alliance, but no more. Shiv Sena will contest all the civic body elections independently and will not have any alliance with them henceforth. The BMC is the country's richest civic body." We are now joined by our chief domestic correspondent Karthike Sharma from New Delhi. Karthike, many thanks for joining us. Please tell us, how should one read this development, Karthike?
Well, it's very, very clear that Shiv Sena has not forgotten the humiliation of the assembly election, where from a senior partner it was relegated to the junior partner, and the same courtesy was not extended to the Thackeray family, which BJP used to extend to Bal Thackeray, making it very clear that that was something reserved for Bal Thackeray, and it will not be extended. It was a person-centric thing, not to his son. Now, BJP did it successfully, but then the BJP government also survived because it didn't get a full majority in assembly on the tacit support of Sharad Pawar's party, NCP. And NCP's Supremo Sharad Pawar has been accommodated in this Padma Award series. So obviously there's a quid pro quo, and Shiv Sena feels that because of the tacit support, it cannot actually arm twist BJP to do its thing, because the government will fall. And for the first time, the alignment which BJP had with regional partners, BJP is the bigger partner and Shiv Sena is the junior partner. So Shiv Sena since then has decided that, okay, we'll stay in the alliance at our own terms, and they have continued to take pot shots at Narendra Modi.
Karthike, what has prompted the Sena move to go it alone in these polls?
Shiv Sena believes that if support will be required, then BJP will automatically come on its own. And it also feels that there is no point cooperating with BJP at a point of time when BJP arm twisted them. See, one has to understand that the humiliation which Shiv Sena has gone through, and the power equations which were craftily recasted by BJP's top leadership in Maharashtra has not been forgotten or forgiven by Uddhav Thackeray. So this will continue to happen till Uddhav Thackeray realizes that he cannot change the equations, or till he again becomes the senior partner.
Karthike, many thanks for all the updates, and thank you for joining us. Moving on now. In Jammu and Kashmir, 10 soldiers have been killed in 2 avalanches in Gurez sector. 4 soldiers are still missing. The avalanches struck 2 army camps in Gurez on Wednesday and again on Thursday. Rescue operations were launched immediately despite bad weather and heavy snowfall. 7 soldiers were found alive during searches on Wednesday. An army major is among those killed. Jammu and Kashmir has been experiencing heavy snowfall over the past 2 days. As India celebrated its 68th Republic Day in New Delhi and other parts of the country, events were also held across the world to mark the occasion. WION's correspondent Giles Gibson went along to a Republic Day celebration in Washington, D.C. and spoke exclusively to the Indian ambassador to the U.S. Listen in.
For most Washington, D.C. residents, it was just a normal working Thursday. But at the Indian Embassy in the U.S. Capitol, a crowd gathered to celebrate the country's Republic Day. India's ambassador to the U.S. scattered rose petals at the feet of a statue of Mahatma Gandhi before raising the national flag outside the embassy. The ambassador says Republic Day is not just a celebration for Indians, but for people across the world.
The government of India has reached out in a very big way to the Indian diaspora across the globe, including the Indian American community. So I think it has exactly the same importance and relevance for them.
Indians and members of the Indian American community in the US agreed.
We do so much in India, and out here in Washington feel great that I'm an Indian, and we came here in the Embassy of India to celebrate this occasion.
When you're in India, you more celebrate Republic Day and Independence Day. When you're in a foreign country, it's even better, I have to say.
But for the ambassador, the day is about more than just looking back in time.
It's a great moment for all of us to get together and celebrate the achievements of India over the last 70 years, and also to do some introspection as to the challenges that lie ahead.
So as India celebrated the founding of its constitution, other parts of the world joined in too. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Giles Gibson, WION.
India's light combat aircraft flew to much appreciation for the first time at the Republic Day parade. But after so many years of development, it's still to receive final operational clearance from the Air Force. Currently, final operational clearance is scheduled in June, but for that to happen, key benchmarks must be met. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration is considering to impose a 20% tax on imports from Mexico. This will be a way to pay for the border wall. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said that President Trump and Republicans are considering to put together a comprehensive tax reform package. This will include taxing imports from countries like Mexico. By doing that, the administration then have $10 million a year and can easily pay for the wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Through that mechanism, Spicer said while addressing the media. Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto has cancelled his meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump that was scheduled for next Tuesday. In a series of tweets, Nieto said the White House was informed about his plan to not attend the working meeting with President Trump. He also tweeted that Mexico reiterates its willingness to work with the United States to reach accords that favor both nations. His decision came in the face of the insistent tweets from President Trump demanding Mexico to pay for the wall. Reacting to Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto's decision to call off the meeting, U.S. President Donald Trump says that such meeting would be fruitless unless Mexico treats U.S. fairly. Donald Trump, while addressing the Republican members of Congress at a meeting in Philadelphia, called the scrapped plan as a neutral decision. President Trump also reiterated his stand that the American people will not pay for the wall along the border of the United States and Mexico. Earlier on, we spoke to our Washington, D.C. Bureau Chief Giles Gibson about the thought process behind the Mexican president's decision and Trump's reaction. Let's listen in.
Well, since this executive order was announced by Donald Trump's administration to divert federal funds immediately to starting this border wall project, Enrique Peña Nieto, the Mexican president, has been under increasing pressure, really, to call off this planned visit, which was scheduled for Tuesday. He even faced calls in his own country's Senate for him to cancel the trip. But really, the sort of the final anti-upping moment came when Donald Trump actually tweeted, he said if Mexico is unwilling to pay for the badly needed wall, then it would be better to cancel the upcoming meeting. So it seems that at that point, that's when the Mexican president, Enrique Peña Nieto, decided to cancel the trip, which was planned for Tuesday next week. Donald Trump's press secretary, Sean Spicer, he actually told reporters that the Trump administration were considering a 20% tariff on all Mexican goods coming into the United States as a way of paying for this billions of dollars worth of new wall along the US and Mexican border. Spicer then sort of slightly walked back from those comments and said that was just one option that the Trump administration were looking into as a way of paying for the project. But clearly the concern in the business world is that if you put a 20% tariff on goods, consumer goods, for example, that are sold in the United States but manufactured in Mexico, then that's going to send prices absolutely skyrocketing, which could hit the pockets of American consumers. So that's really been the concern off the back of this possible policy being touted by the Trump White House.
President Donald Trump says he's not banning Muslim migration to the United States. Trump told ABC News in his first interview to a TV channel since taking over that restrictions will only apply to those countries with a history of terrorism. But despite Trump's assurance of not only banning Muslim immigration, Muslim community in the country has expressed disappointment over his immigration policy.
Trump, he's a successful man with the business, and I believe he's going to do a lot of steps to be America more successful. He have to be fair to everybody, and when he is fair to everybody, this is eliminate the terrorism, eliminate the people to hate America, and we're going to be in safety side.
It's a tragedy. I mean, though, especially the refugees, what they have been going through, and they are looking for a place where they can be free, coming out of prostitution and things like that.
British Prime Minister Theresa May will meet US President Donald Trump today. May and Trump are expected to hold a joint news conference after their much-anticipated meeting in the Oval Office. British Prime Minister, while addressing media in Philadelphia, said she's delighted that the new administration has made a trade agreement between the two countries one of its earliest priorities.
Today, increasingly, we have strong economic, commercial, defence and political relationships as well. So I'm delighted that the new administration has made a trade agreement between our countries one of its earliest priorities. A new trade deal between Britain and America must work for both sides and serve both of our national interests. It must help to grow our respective economies and to provide the high-skilled, high-paid jobs of the future for working people across America and across the UK. And it must work for those who have too often felt left behind by the forces of globalization.
Let's take a short break now. More news coming up on the other side.
The one-child policy in China has been criticized to the moon and back. On this episode, we're going to look at the factors that drove China to take this extreme position and the social and psychological impact it's had.
My relatives would point to us and they'd say, you're lucky you're not born in China, you would be given away, you would be killed.
I don't think the government has any right to impose how many children people have.
You are missing a big chunk of women. So how are you going to grow your workers of the future?
Particularly urban families are not interested in taking up the option of to have the second child.
It's much more easier to stop women from having children. It's much harder to try and make them have children.
Democracy and dictatorship at these times on WION.
Sir, you're a genius.
कैसे?
आपने कहा था ना टैक्स सेविंग वाले इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कर दिया। सालों का एक्सपीरियंस है, तुम्हारे ही काम आएगा।
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
मार्च का महीना है, क्या प्लान्स हैं?
सर बढ़िया रिटर्न्स के लिए इन्वेस्ट किया है बस।
और टैक्स?
सिर्फ टैक्स सेविंग, इन्वेस्टमेंट्स तो रिटर्न्स के लिए करते हैं ना? नहीं।
म्यूचुअल फंड्स के टैक्स प्लान, टैक्स सेविंग भी और फाइनेंशियल तरक्की भी। UTI, हक एक बेहतर जिंदगी का। म्यूचुअल फंड इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर सब्जेक्ट टू मार्केट रिस्क. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
On the new OLX app, just chat and sell. Yahan, only registered buyers. Get the new OLX app. Buy and sell near you.
Hello and welcome to a brand new technology show, which oddly enough isn't just about technology.
It's about food.
It's about science.
It's about people.
It's about art, culture and so much more. Hi, I'm Sahil.
And I'm Teja.
And this is Check It Out.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Days after it liberated the eastern Mosul from the Islamic State, the Iraqi forces are now targeting the militants across the Tigris River. The western Mosul has been under the Islamic State rule for the last 2.5 years now. Despite recapturing the eastern part, the Iraqi forces have not yet crossed the Tigris River. Austrian police has arrested 14 suspected Islamic State militants following the raids in Vienna and the southern city of Graz. The suspects who were held for questioning include 3 women and 3 Austrians with foreign roots. Interior Minister Wolfgang Sobotka, while addressing the media, said that the frauds had been planned for some time now.
Eine lang geplante Aktion, die bereits in den Vormonaten begonnen hat und heute mit einem Einsatz von 800 Beamten aus den unterschiedlichsten Mannschaften und unterschiedlichsten Einheiten durchgeführt wurde. 16 Hausdurchsuchungen, 2 Hausdurchsuchungen bei Vereinslokalen.
Chilean President Michelle is on a tour of the badly affected area by the Chile wildfires. She was confronted by people over the delay in relief operations. Anger is mounting among the people of Chile as they allege that there has been a delay in the government's response to tackle the wildfires that gripped parts of the country. 7 people have been killed, 298 injured, and more than 6,000 others have lost their homes as a result of the flames.
Tiene susto de que esto no termina y que aparecen nuevos focos en todos lados y es una sensación de descontrol que afecta a las personas. Lo único que yo puedo decir es que yo sé que las personas que han estado trabajando combatiendo los incendios lo han hecho con un tremendo heroísmo.
Getting you some sports news now. England have taken a 1-0 lead in the 3-match T20 series against India. This comes after a dominant 7-wicket win in Kanpur's Green Park Stadium. England won the toss and elected to bowl skipper Virat Kohli, who stepped in as the opener to give the hosts a positive start. But India failed to build a credible partnership. As I say goodbye now, take a look at these beautiful visuals where a pair of whales in China are using tricks to wish everyone a very happy Chinese New Year.
Meets Managing Director of Volvo Cars India, Tom von Bonsdorf, and talks about growth and development of the auto sector in India. Only on Boardrooms and Fairways.
prosperity comes to every doorstep with the fastest growing bank in India, Bandhan Bank. Aapka bhala, sabki bhalai.
Modi government's third budget. Will it be a budget for the masses or the corporates? Will the common man gain or lose?